Hi everyone, hello Mr. David and Mr. Mauricio, and finally we get to talk together. I'm so glad right now. So just for technical check before space. So can you hear me well, sir?
Everything's coming through loud and clear. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you,
Yes,
sir.
all good. Thank
Okay,
you.
yeah, I think the audience is here, the speaker is here, so I think we are good to go now. Okay, so hello everyone, hello Polkadot community, and I am your host, Anna from Polkadot Insider. And today we are having a very, very special project on the space, which is Peaq. Yeah, a DePIN layer one powering the economy of things on Polkadot, allowing people to have to own and control the machines that serve them instead of handing the reins over to big tech companies. Yeah, and that's not all, of course. And if you want to hear more about Peaq, stay tuned to the end. Yeah, and in case you first know about Polkadot Insider, so we are a channel updating news, data analytics, real-time data, and research about projects to support retail investors' views when they invest in the Polkadot and kusama ecosystem. All right, so going through the main today, we so honored to have Mr. David and Mr. Mauricio, who are very core team member from Peaq, going to share with us about what is so potential, what's so special about Peaq, and also what are they bringing to the decentralized application future, and we have to follow up. Yeah. So no more busting about a bus. We gotta start right now. Okay. So to kick off the atmosphere, sir, can you tell us more about Peaq, and also what is your background, how you became involved in Polkadot and Peaq? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the great intro. We're really excited to be here. Yeah, as you mentioned, we are a deep in layer one on Polkadot. My background is business development. I joined Peaq almost about a year ago. As we've been developing, basically founding team's been developing this project for many years now, and we're finally getting to this stage where everything is in place and we're getting ready. We've got a parachain auction. We've won the parachain on Kusama, and then we have a Polkadot one coming up very shortly, and we're finally getting ready to launch the networks. Yeah, the intro of why we came to Polkadot. There's many benefits to Polkadot, but one of them being the ability to outsource security to the relay chain. That was a big thing for the machine economy, right? We're able to then use our revenue to our network revenue to incentivize machines and apps on the network, rather than having to cover basically security costs and paying out to nodes. This was a really big reason why we chose Polkadot, and then of course the cross-chain messaging, which allows you to just have interoperability between all these different blockchains. We just realized that the tech was next level, and it's kind of the perfect fit for the economy of things, and that's why we decided to build on Polkadot and why we got involved here.
Yeah, thank you, sir, a lot. Yeah, we get to know more about Peaq and a general picture, and also something about your journey. Yeah, that's very interesting as well. And so why Peaq choose Polkadot? And obviously Polkadot is a very good fit for Peaq for a lot of good reasons. Yeah, and that's a very nice kickoff. Thank you, sir. Okay, so the question, next question is, as we all know, Peaq is about building things, powering the economy of things. So can you explain more about the concept of how it works, and also what are some practical use cases?
Yeah, absolutely. So Peaq basically provides everything you need to build a dApp for vehicles, robots, devices on a people-powered blockchain. Some examples of what is possible are decentralized Uber solutions, for example, or a peer-to-peer electric vehicle charging app on an open network. Rather than these IoT applications on closed networks. Anybody could add devices and machines to these networks, and it's very inclusive. Machines are replacing humans in the everyday, in the workplace every day, and Peaq enables people to own and control these machines that serve them instead of, like you mentioned previously, the handing over the reins to big tech companies, as we have been doing in the past.
Yeah, that's a very great concept indeed. And I think it's very helpful for the people, for users to get to know more about it, to catch up with it, and that's very, very helpful for them. Yeah. So, to your perspective, what are some drawbacks of the current Web2 Internet of Things platforms that really need for Web3 or decentralization? And also, how does Peaq address these issues?
Okay, I'll take that one. And hi everybody, I'm David. I'm the community manager for Peaq. I joined the company just a couple of months ago. So, what brought me to Peaq is sort of the things that we've talked about thus far, really focusing on the community and the 100% as opposed to the 1% as we move into the age of automation. So, this is a great discussion to let everybody know sort of why we're passionate about it and what the project's about. And really, that's a great question. What are the current drawbacks of the Web2 Internet of Things? So we're all familiar with the Internet of Things, smart devices connected to the Internet that you can control with your apps. And these machines, they currently run on Web2 platforms, and that means they're governed and powered by large corporations like we just talked about. And there are some drawbacks to having a large corporation not only own the app, but own the data. So, security is a concern, data ownership is a concern, and a big concern is also the aggregation of the profits that are being seen by these networks and these devices. So, those things are only accessible via the same corporate controlled platforms. And so what that means is that for any machine to provide goods and services, they have to rely on those corporate intermediaries. And that does have a very negative consequence for privacy, security, like I mentioned, efficiency, availability, functionality, and cost. And so what Peaq is doing to address this is to provide a decentralized, open and democratic network economy that's owned by both the machines as well as the users. So we're offering something where everybody, whether a user or a machine, can be part of that economy.
Yeah, thank you, Sir Lad. I think it makes sense in so many ways. Yeah, we all know that the drawbacks are something relating to, as you say, the data, the ownership, and it's obviously Peaq is doing so great about these issues, and that's good news for users indeed. Yeah. So, in what ways does Peaq enable machines to become fully self-sufficient and provide services without relying on corporate intermediaries? So can you explain more about how this mechanism works?
Yeah, for sure. Well, what we do for the machines to be able to interact with one another without the need of someone in the middle is to give them the three core functionalities. We have three core pillars, which are machine identity, role-based access control, and then payment. These functionalities allow these machines to interact with one another and with users and humans. Some mechanisms in place that further make these machines self-sufficient that we have are machine rewards. For example, machines operating in the Peaq ecosystem receive constant recurring revenue from the network. That's going back to the point that I've made of outsourcing the security to the relay chain, allowing us to give more incentives to these machines. We also have machine DeFi, like subsidization pools, for example. So new machines and machine pools can be created and funded by investors all over the world, and placed in different areas and different networks, underserved markets, and yeah, giving people the opportunity to, for example, create 5G connectivity in regions in Africa, and the opportunities are endless. But these are just some of the mechanisms that we give to these machines to become self-sufficient.
Well, I think that's very interesting to get to know more about how this mechanism works. And yeah, I think it's very interesting. Thank you so much. So,
Nope.
yeah, you want to add in something more about it?
Yeah, I was just going to mention, if anybody's really interested and any developers are listening, our documentation has a lot of details about our economics and further goes into these details further. So there's quite a lot of resources available, and yeah, it's very. I don't really have the time to dive into every mechanism that's in place, but it's really quite cool. And yeah, the team's been working hard on all these mechanisms and the incentives. So feel free to check out our docs at any time.
Okay, hear it, everyone. If you want to get to know more about how these cool mechanisms work, so please get right into the documentations of Peaq. Yeah, to get to know more about it. So the next question is that the Peaq's Gran Program has been heating up, and many dApps with different use cases have recently joined the Gran Program and have started building DePINs on Peaq. So can you name some of the coolest projects there, and also what are the core benefits for them to build on your chain?
Yeah, that's a really good point. The Gran Program has been really heating up. I think it's ever since the term DePIN came out in the emissary research, decentralized physical infrastructure networks. They kind of gave a name to any dApps connecting real hardware, decentralized, yeah, basically decentralized applications connecting hardware to the blockchain. And that's basically we did not have that name beforehand, and as we were building Peaq, there was no real term. And since that term has come out, it's been really exploding. So we've had about 40 applications in the last month to the Gran Program, and there's all kinds of different use cases. There's companies such as Blocksmooth doing decentralized Uber. There's Charge XYZ, the electric vehicle charging networks. There's decentralized 5G connectivity, like we mentioned in Africa. There's YCrypt doing that. There's AI-powered cameras and analytics, projects like Natix. There's really just so many use cases coming on, and we're onboarding projects with different use cases basically every day. So it's really exciting to see the growth in the DePIN space. And yeah, we're excited to help out more projects and get them onboarded onto the Gran Program.
Yeah, I think it's like a banger. I think it's very fantastic, and I think it's not gonna stop. We're gonna see what is happening next with the program. I think it's gonna be more exploding. Yeah. So one of the notable news from Peaq recently is about you guys gonna presenting a live demo at Polkadot Decoded. So can you tell us more about this? Just a little bit about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to take this one, David?
Sure. I was going to say we can hint a little bit about it, and we can tell you a general application in it. But it's we have to wait for the official announcement. It's going to be super exciting. It's a car sharing demo that we're going to be doing. And Peaq is going to be bringing Teslas to the network. So it's something that we're really excited about, something that I think answers a lot of the questions that I've seen in the comments, which is sort of what are the real world applications for this? So this is going to be a demonstration, a real world demonstration of how we can bring a car sharing network to our network. And yeah, we're going to be presenting that live demo. So if you are following our socials, if you aren't following, please follow along, because there's going to be some really cool stuff coming out on our socials. And if you have a chance to watch it live, then please do. But we'll keep the exciting details until later.
Yeah, that's fine, sir. That's fine. We love surprises, so you have to like disclose all of that. So keep it. Yeah, and everyone here at Peaq is bringing Teslas to a network, and yeah, of course, we're gonna stay tuned into it. Yeah, of course. So, talking about achievements, so can you share some of your recent best achievements so far? Is there any practical use case that applied by Peaq Network so far? Yeah, so sir, can you get the answer, or you wanted me to repeat it again?
So sorry, I missed the question. Can you?
Yeah, so we kind of want to know, we're kind of curious about what are your some recent achievements so far, and also are there any cool practical use cases that apply by Peaq Network so far?
Yeah, for sure. Well, we've had a lot of news coming out recently on our socials. Some of the most recent news was an integration with Fetch AI, which fetches autonomous AI agents to the Polkadot ecosystem. This basically allows any application or dApp building on the network to leverage these agents and automate business and machine processes in the economy of things. So it was really groundbreaking. And not only did that showcase the integration with Fetch AI, but also the interoperability between the Cosmos and the Polkadot ecosystem. And I think these two ecosystems collaborating will be really big in the future, as they're kind of similar in some ways, and they're just networks of layer ones collaborating. So I think that would be very big in the future.
Wow, those are very great work. Yeah, and congratulations you guys again on a very, very recent achievement. And yeah, so now we are really down to hear more about what is coming up next with Peaq. So can you just review with us a little bit about what are your next steps for Peaq to grow in the rest of 2023 or even further, sir?
Yeah, so I think, it's a great question, and something that the community definitely wants to know is where are we going from here? And the biggest development that we have that's coming up pretty quickly is the Crest IDO. So we have Peaq Network, which is our main DePIN network, but we've launched our Crest network, which is a kusama network that we use as our canary network. So it's where builders can develop, test, perfect their dApps. And we're launching our public funding round with the Alliance Block Funders app in 11 days. And so this is an incentivized network where people have an opportunity to invest in the project. And now the really cool thing about this is we've talked about the development grant. And so all of the proceeds to this sale are going to go directly to that development grant. And that's going to help us strengthen the network even more so. So we're going to take the funds from this sale and use it to bring more projects on board, give more projects an opportunity to build on the network, and therefore strengthen the network as a whole. So that's the really big thing that's coming up. So everybody should watch our socials for more information on that. We're going to be releasing stuff every day until that starts. And if you're looking to get more interested, if you're interested and you want to get more involved in the project, aside from the IDO, there's many opportunities. Our Discord is probably the central hub of our community. We are running a Zeely campaign, for those of you familiar with that POAP platform. So there's an opportunity not only to get involved from a development standpoint, but we're doing a lot of fun community things as well. So I encourage everybody to stop by the Discord. And if you participate in some of those events, you never know, you might win an airdrop from this IDO. So definitely a little incentive for everybody to stop by. And then long term, like Mauricio said, we're continuing to grow the ecosystem on a daily basis by engaging with projects that are really eager to build on Peaq. The projects that we've previously mentioned, like Fetch AI, and working with these top tier projects, really demonstrates how we're leading the way in the DePIN space. So this is a direct result, of the work that we've done with these top projects like Fetch AI, and we're excited for the growth that we're continuing to see. So, again, look forward for more real-world and impactful projects joining and building on the Peaq network.
Yeah, I also wanted to just add to that point about the IDO or the sale on funders. It will also anyone contributing will be eligible for Peaq for a Peaq airdrop. So it's one of the first times that the community is going to have access to the Peaq token through this IDO. So it makes it even more exciting.
Wow, I am excited already about all of the upcoming things with Peaq. Yeah, and we know that there are a lot of work, a lot of hard work to make all of them come into play. But we know that with Peaq, we definitely have a lot of good news coming up. Yeah, that's of course. So for the last question, I think it's kind of exciting and interesting. Yeah. So if you have to say 3 words to express your pride in Peaq, what makes you proud of about Peaq? So what are those, sir?
Well, I have 3 words, so I'll start. So, and I'm recent to the Peaq family, so it's, I think it's important to have these 3 words and to be proud of your project. And I think, the 3 things that really speak to me about this project is how impactful it is. So the work that we do with Peaq through EOT Labs, has real world implications, and it's going to improve the lives of everyday people all over the world. And so, as job automation accelerates, we want people that are involved in the economy of things and the Internet of Things to benefit from that. So, being able to say that I work for a very impactful organization is important. And I think it's something that demonstrates our values and our mission for Peaq. The second word sort of ties in, it's opportunity. Instead of watching this age of automation create a larger gap between the 1% and the rest of us, we are offering an opportunity for everybody to benefit and profit from the upcoming smart device revolution. So really focusing on that distribution of wealth to the 100% instead of the aggregation to the 1%, personally for me is really important and also something that I'm very proud of that we're doing as an organization. And then lastly, and this is a hot topic all over, is inclusivity. So, I look at inclusivity as far as Peaq is concerned from a slightly different standpoint, because here, whether you're a user, a developer, a machine owner, you're welcome to come and build on Peaq network and take advantage of all of the, the impactfulness and opportunity that we can provide, and that's really reflected in our mission statement to build a decentralized, open, and democratic network economy that's owned by both the people and the machines that use it. So, yeah, I think those are kind of the 3 of many things that I'm very proud of. Being a part of the Peaq family and EOT Labs.
Yeah, those are. Yeah. How about you? What are your 3 words there?
No, I was gonna say I would add to it, but David just nailed it. So that's good enough for me.
I stole his words.
But yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, those are very lovely words that kind of. That's all what we see. So obviously in Peaq, what is Peaq is always trying to do, to serve, to build. Yeah, and that's really tells what is Peaq about, and that's very great. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your lovely words. Yeah. So I think it's all about the questions. Yeah, we threw a lot of good information about Peaq, what is Peaq is doing, what are the products, and also what are big upcoming things that we have to follow up with Peaq. Okay, but I'm afraid that we not done yet, sir, because we have a giveaway. So now I'm gonna reveal who are the winners with their questions, and I may need your help to answer these questions. So are you ready, sir, for the question from community?
Absolutely.
No, but let's go.
Yeah, let's get into it. Yeah. So for the first question, I think it's kind of interesting. So they want to know, do you have any estimated time for your ambassador program or any details about this that can be revealed?
Yes. So, we've kind of started the ambassador program right now through the Zilli campaign. So it's something that we are taking our time in developing because it's something that's very important to us. And so, as we move closer to the Crest IDO and as we move, forward with this project, we're going to be slowly revealing more details of that. So the best bet to become an ambassador with us and get involved in that program is to join our Discord now and get in while it's still early. And we're going to be, like I said, slowly releasing those details. And, it's important to me personally that, we approach this with, a very slow and methodical attitude, because we want to make sure that everybody gets the maximum benefit from that. So an ambassador program to me is something that not only benefits the community, but also benefits the project as a whole, which in turn benefits the community. So something that, I'm taking, very seriously, and something that we're very excited to reveal when the time comes.
Yeah, ambassador program means it's got a lot of meanings, and we know, and yeah, definitely stay tuned to, really it come out, and I think it's gonna be very, very, a good news and exciting news for everyone. Yeah. So the next question, they want to know about the roadmap again. So we have mentioned a roadmap in the main sharing, but they want to know, what is your most important next priority?
Right now, our biggest priorities are growing the community and onboarding more DePIN projects. The more use cases, the more real machines get connected to the network, the more traction, the more everything. So our biggest focus right now are bringing devices, real world use cases, real machines, more dApps, and then building a strong community to go with the ambassador program and all our socials. We want to build a whole ecosystem, when projects get to the size where you don't need too much marketing, it's just a big community of developers, builders, and just people wanting to invest into these devices, machines. It's going to be turned into an economy rather than a community. So those are the 2 points that we're focused on right now.
And to add on to that quickly, the use cases, bringing on more projects and use cases. So a lot of our use cases come from our community. And if you go to our website, you can look at the list of use cases that have been proposed. And just as we're talking about community and ambassador programs and Discords. So just as a little alpha for everybody, if you have any ideas for a use case, save them up. We're going to be running a use case competition in the Discord very soon. So an opportunity for you guys to contribute to the network and have your voice heard. So I look forward to doing that, because I think that's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's gonna be so much fun, I believe. Yeah, thank you, sir. I think it is satisfied already. Yeah. So I think the next question is supposed to include in our main sharing, because it's about the competition. And we know that the competition is always hard, and they want to know what really makes Peaq Network to be outstanding compared to other projects building the same thing.
Sure, I'll take this question. Well, first of all, none of our competitors are building on Polkadot, so that is one big plus. We're building, I really do feel like we're building on the correct chain, so that is one big plus. The incentives, like I mentioned again, outsourcing and being able to really incentivize and have a good economy for these machines and devices. I think that is what we really differentiates ourselves from other competitors. is that we really put in the work over the last 4 years to make sure the economics are in place, and then this will basically, as it grows, always scale and grow into a flourishing economy. Yeah, I think that is what sets us apart. On top of that, our branding and dedication to detail. I think we really focus on creating the partnerships, or not partnerships, but integrations and use cases prior to announcing it. We don't like to under deliver, so we make sure everything is completed and done, and then these use cases are visible before announcing such things. So I think I think just being reliable and really delivering, that I think that those two things will set us apart, and we continue to work hard at those things so we can gain users' trust, and not just the community, but also the people that build on our network.
And also for any developers out there, our documentation for developing on the network is extensive and very user-friendly. So we also spend a lot of time and effort making sure that anybody that wants to build with us can with ease. So the level of support, documentation, and availability to help grow your project on Peaq is there as well, which I think is important.
Correct. And to add to that point, that we just recently released an SDK that is basically going to keep being worked on and developed. We've sent this SDK to all projects building on Peaq, and we're trying to perfect it. So we want to get it to the point where any IoT company can come in and develop their application on the blockchain without having too much blockchain knowledge, So we're trying to make it as simple as possible, and to really be able to bridge the IoT Web2 world with the economy of things on Polkadot.
Yeah, I think it's definitely all the things that really help Peaq stands out. And when the competition is hard, yeah, we can all see that, and we appreciate all the hard work of Peaq so far, that we can, have a lot of good products and a lot of good news from Peaq, and that's very great. Yeah. So for the next question, well, about a non-crypto user. So they say non-crypto user is essential for the mainstream adoption. So how are you guys planning to attract non-crypto users? And also, are there any partnerships that will bring non-crypto users in your platform more? Yeah.
I'll start off with that. So that is, of course, the most important thing in blockchain is in order to facilitate mass adoption, we need to make blockchain applications accessible to people who don't understand it. So we need to bring, these Web3 applications to a Web2 space. And, there are definitely a lot of things that we're doing that are specifically focused on that. And one is what Mauricio just mentioned, the SDK that we're working on and that is now available to the public is designed to allow Web2 users to come in and develop an application for their economy of things without having extensive blockchain knowledge. So again, it comes back to the support that we're offering new developers to allow for that, that adoption into a Web2 space. I think another aspect is, the companies and the projects that are building on the Peaq network. So if we look at some of the examples that we mentioned earlier, these are real-world applications that are reaching out to Web2 users. So, by helping the projects that are building on Peaq to achieve that same goal, which is be accessible to Web2 users, we're really hoping that facilitates the mass adoption.
Yes, I think the physical hardware will also do that, since some people won't necessarily need to know they're using Web3. For example, a ride-sharing solution. You could be walking around the streets and see a car with its branding, download the application, and then take it for a ride, and then you're just paying directly with your credit card. Everything is done on the back end, and you're basically using a tokenized vehicle running on Peaq. That's an example. So not all hardware or not all users will need to know it's Web3. We're kind of bridging that gap through hardware. So I think that's a big opportunity as well.
Yeah, thank you sir a lot. I think that's very, that's very helpful for listeners to know more about it, because actually maybe I'm a non-crypto user. I mean, I love crypto. I would try to learn more about it every day, but I mean, I gotta try harder. But thanks to Peaq, I can still experience the crypto world, crypto experience with ease. Yeah, and I think on behalf of the people out there like me, in my stage, they can, a special thanks to Peaq. Yeah. So for the last question, it's about the ecosystem Gran Program. So if they want to know what is the progress of applying for this program and also reviewing grant applications.
Yeah, I can dive into that. We've shortened the application recently because due to the amount of applicants that we're getting. It's basically just the process is as follows. There's a short type form on our website. If you go to peaq.network and you go to the grant section, you'll find all the information available there. We have a button. You just fill out your type form. From the type form, we review it. Once we review it, we get back to you, set up a call with the team and the project, and we set milestones, development milestones. Usually it's anywhere from 2 to 5 milestones. And as these projects develop and hit their milestones and launch things on Peaq, the grant is allocated in those steps, So for example, if a project was allocated 50K in USD, they might have 3 milestones, and it's just evenly distributed as they hit those development milestones. At the end of the program, what's really exciting is that we have a grant committee, which includes a lot of Peaq's investors. That includes Mulan Capital, Water Drip, Cypher Capital. So all these VCs also get to view your project, and the projects get to pitch to them, and they could further invest because they're incentivized, since they're investing in a lot of the projects building on Peaq and helping us to grow the ecosystem. It doesn't just stop there. So all successful applicants that completed their milestones also get to pitch to our circle of VCs. So that is the main process we have in place right now.
Well, that's very interesting to get to know more about how this program works, and also how's it going. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's all about the 5 questions, and we want to congratulations 5 winners for the 5 very good questions. Yeah, thanks to you guys, we know more about Peaq in more aspects, and that's very amazing. Yeah. So I think it's all about is it real and for the questions today. Yeah. So before we say goodbye, Mr. David, Mr. Mauricio, do you have any words left for our listeners today before we say goodbye?
Well, I want to thank Polkadot Insider for hosting us today. This has been really fun. I thank you for the opportunity to tell the audience a little bit more about us. And if anybody who's listening has any more questions, feel free to drop into the Discord, message us on Twitter, reach out via our website, and we'll respond and help you out as best we can. So I look forward to seeing a lot of you in my travels around our social media platforms. And thanks everybody for coming out and listening.
Yeah, thank you so much. I just wanted to add one last thing. We also will be in Hamburg for for Blockchains 2023, which is a conference, and we are exhibiting there. So if anybody it will be around the area or is in Germany and would like to travel to the conference, we do have some tickets for community, and would love to invite some of you guys. So make sure to send myself or Peaq a message, and let's see you guys in Hamburg. Thanks again for hosting us. It was really good to be here, and hopefully we can do it again in the future.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. David and Mr. Mauricio, a lot for your time here, and I think it's very helpful for all listeners today. Yeah, and also thank you everyone for joining us. I think it's kind of long, but I hope it's worth it to you, because it very is to me. Yeah, thank you all again for coming. Yeah, if you have any more questions about Peaq, just do not hesitate to DM Polkadot Insider, and we're gonna have it connected to our speakers, and we're gonna send it back to you as soon as possible. Yeah. So I think it's all about today. Yeah, we just hope that you just had a very relaxing time with us. Yeah, and I'm afraid that we have to say goodbye. So goodbye, everyone. Have a rest of your day. Have a nice rest of your day. And see you guys all again on our AMA. Yeah, so bye, everyone, and have a nice day.